Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another podcast. It's been a long time. I hope you guys are doing well, and how are you doing, Mix?
Alhamdulillah, so far so good at the moment. Little bit sick, but on the way to recovery. Uh, anyway, and by the way, first I would like to remind that I have made a vlog recently on my other channel. I put the
Oh
link in the
yeah,
description. It is
he's made a really good
added
vlog,
added
guys.
yeah,
Go check it out. Make sure you
uh,
subscribe and like his video.
yes. So
Speaking of,
basically this is part one, and inshallah part two will also come. I will land it in the pretty much the next week. Let's see if I have time to post it, because if by chance, and pray for me, if my health gets back to normal pretty soon, because I have to get ready. I have to become 100% by Monday, because I need to do a PCR test, because again I'm flying to another country, Zanzibar. So I don't want to miss it. We have booked the freaking hotel. We have booked everything. I mean, the activities over there are crazy, and I don't want to miss it.
hopefully you get
Anyway,
well soon. And speaking of being sick and not sick, I actually also have a sore throat because yesterday I had this something called lassi, and the curd that my friend put in, I think it was expired or it was old or something. So because of that, now I have that like a throat irritation in my throat and a bit cough. But yeah, I should be fine.
wish you a good health though
Thank
too.
you. You too. You need that
Anyway,
more than I do.
yeah, yeah, but pray for my family also, because what has happened is this is
Oh
the
yes,
same thing
for sure.
when I got COVID also. The same thing happened with the COVID. I got first. I'm on my way to
And
recovery.
then you spread it to
These
your
people get
family.
it.
Yeah, that's the worst
I'm
thing about
I'm
virus.
this I. But anyway, let's continue the
So our
podcast.
first topic is we move on to the topic of the most controversial topic as of now on internet. What color is your Bugatti?
One day we will get the Bugatti.
If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's
Anyway,
the famous Andrew Tate, guys. So what color is your Bugatti? My Bugatti, I don't have. I have a Bugatti in
I
my
must I
in a game. It's red color. Ha.
uh,
But
but
anyways,
by the way, forget the ban. He's unbanned in one way, and I'll tell you why. Just recently, it's a blessing in disguise. He has a 5 hour interview that has been posted on YouTube 2 days back. No, not just 2 days back. One day back.
yeah.
A 5 hour interview by a famous entrepreneur on YouTube, Valuetainment, Patrick Benedict. His channel is Valuetainment. Go and watch it. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll react to some of those clips there, and you tell me, does it deserve to be banned or not? Although let's just unravel certain things. Okay, number one, the most things that they people talk about is controversial things. Is number one, he's talking about uh, that, yeah, there's one video that he likes, 18, 19-year-old women. He says because they have less, they went to less dick. Again, this is a statement which nowadays not all women are like that. But anyway, the point is, look, legally over 18 is allowed. So if it's a consensual thing, why are you guys worried about it?
Yeah.
If it's a consensual thing, why are you worried about it?
I
If
don't
we
know,
can legally
on the
change,
internet, everyone just wants to
yeah,
make it a big issue, and people need fame, right? So they want to give their viewpoints and just like kind of make it
eh,
controversial, sound a bit weird, like news channels, add a bit spice
if
to
you
it.
can if you can legally change your own gender on card and everything, and sexual, and go on surgery and change your own gender, and you want people to accept it, and that time you say since legally it's right, then just because if it's legally he likes younger women, and the women are who are over 18 and it's consensual, then try to stay consistent with your argument, stop being a bullshit idiot. So that's one controversy thing that we can put it out. That's not the reason that he needs to be banned for. Two, beating women. That's another thing. That's disproved. There's no proof of it. The proof that came, it was some BDSM lifestyle. Another thing, talking about human trafficking and everything. That's another bullshit, because it's not gone into the court. He's not gone into
In
jail.
fact, there's no
You
proof
can't.
yet. Even his house was
Yes,
raided online live.
yes,
His house was raided. Everything was taken out. And I even heard, like, I saw a video or something was saying
yes,
that about $100,000 of his whole equipment was like they took it and he bought a new one and he's back in the game. So yeah,
Yes,
those
sir.
could
So I
survive.
mean, these are just things to just demoralize people and brainwash people to think that he's this villain, which is not. So now see. So now you see how much of it. Okay, now it talks about this cheating thing about men and women can cheat and all. That argument, yeah, I can say that's a bit stupid
See,
argument that
there
he's
are some,
saying.
yeah, there are some stuff that
Yes,
I feel like it's not right. He says it in a way, but it's not correct, obviously. But some things are true. It's happening in the world, and people are just not ready to accept it.
now let's come to his more logical and more applicable things that he has said.
Yeah.
And let me just share something, and then you see how can you disagree with him. Okay, see in what sense he's dangerous, because believe it or not, people like Logan Paul, who used to worship him before the ban, used to worship him. The moment he got banned, what they said, there's a video where Logan Paul, he reads from a freaking script. He says, that Andrew
Oh,
Tate,
I've seen that video.
his
Yeah.
speech is yeah, his speech is so hateful, and if we do not stop him, years down the line, there will be a ripple effect of his
But this,
message.
even if it's like coming from the top people who are making him speak it, it's not yet confirmed that it was a scripted thing or it was coming from his side.
Yeah, I mean, I've already noticed one thing for sure. I don't know about KSI, but I'm almost starting to think KSI is also part of the elite almost,
Because he
or
recently
not a lot.
KSI mentioned, like, I don't know, in the past
Uh,
also he's mentioned that if there's a fight
uh,
between Jake Paul and Andrew Tate would win. If there's a fight
uh,
between KSI and Andrew Tate would win. So I don't know if he's kind of supporting. And then recently he called out Andrew Tate for a fight.
yeah.
So
I mean,
not
listen,
no
listen,
clue.
listen. At the end of the day, one thing is for sure. I'm 100% sure about Logan Paul that he has been part of the elite. He's been controlled. He's already been cancelled once, and he knows that it's a hard-earned thing.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to lose his. This is the thing. People, unfortunately, you know what? I was just thinking to myself something very important. Okay, today we have this ability to speak the truth because we're not anybody. We're not somebody yet. That's why it's easy for us to tell the truth. But
yeah,
I hope, that when we inshallah grow up to that level, we still stick to our principles and we still tell the truth, even no matter what we get cancelled. If we get cancelled on YouTube, it doesn't matter. This is where we have to understand that look, we have to stand up for the truth. It doesn't matter because if we don't, then we are actually inspiring other people to believe in delusionality and believe in lie, and we cannot lie to the people.
yeah,
So this is something our whole podcast should be, or the definition of a podcast is try to open people's mind regardless whatever happens to us. Yes, yeah, we have to be responsible in how we say it so that it doesn't affect us really badly to the point that we end up in bad scenarios. It hurts our lifestyle or something, but still we should, openly say what's right to how much of our ability we can say. Okay, that's what we
yeah,
have to think about.
I want you to read a book. It was called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism.
Yep.
You've referenced Stoicism multiple times, not getting emotional, thinking rational.
Yep.
This was a book that you've subscribed to for years. What is it about Stoicism and not getting caught up in emotions and even triggering emotions that resonates with you?
Well, emotions are feedback. The idea that men don't feel emotions is incorrect. We feel emotions. I would actually argue we feel emotions with certain emotions stronger than women. I would argue that we feel heartbreak stronger than women. I would argue we feel anger like a woman could never understand. I would argue we are extremely emotional. Rage, pure rage. But it's feedback. So when you get the feedback, it's all about how you internalize it and how you process it, right? It's having stoicism's not feeling emotions. It's feeling the emotion and going, okay, why is this happening? How much does this really matter? What's the most intelligent move on the chessboard? I'm not even that good at chess, right? My father was a grandmaster. I'm like 1800 elo. I'm okay. I was a child chess prodigy, but I stopped playing chess professionally when I was like 8. So I'm as good now as I was. In fact, I'm worse now than when I was 8 because I've never taken any lessons or anything properly since because my mother and father broke up. We moved to England. My dad stayed in America. Lost my chess coach, and England didn't have a chess infrastructure. America had a chess infrastructure in the lower income schools. My dad Used to go to the ghetto schools because he was black, go to the black schools and teach them how to play chess. So we had a big infrastructure.
So you peaked at 8.
I peaked at 8, yeah. But chess is a fantastic game because in the game of chess, there's no luck. If you lose, no matter how well you played, if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. Even if it's the most minor mistake, you made a mistake. So you learn to understand that no matter what happens to you, if you lose a scenario, you made a mistake. Maybe it's a tiny one. Maybe it was 2 years ago, whatever, but you made a mistake. And you learn absolute and utter accountability for yourself. And that mentality is extremely powerful to apply to all things in life. The position I'm in now as the most hated man in the world, although I agree and I truly believe it's unfair, I still take complete responsibility for. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm telling you why it happened when I talk about TikTok and YouTube shorts, but I'm not going to blame them. Absolutely. They're a company making money and they're monetizing the best they can. Fantastic. All of this is my fault. But the Bugatti on my drive is my fault. And the yacht is my fault. And the private jet's my fault. So it's all my fault. So I take the good with the bad. I take all responsibility for absolutely everything, including if a woman leaves me, if a woman stays, if I end up heartbroken, if I end up filled with rage, I take responsibility for that. If something happens to me that makes me enraged, I will take responsibility. Why has this happened to me? Why do I feel this way? How did I end up in this position? Is this healthy in this scenario? And sometimes it is. I've had scenarios in my life where I was prepared to die to protect somebody else, and I was enraged, and it was healthy. I've also had times where I'm in a room by myself, enraged, sitting there going, this is no good for anybody. I need to just calm the fuck down. Mm-hmm. So emotions are feedback, but stoicism is the ability to process them. And that's what you need to learn as a man. You're never going to be able to turn them off. You're going to feel them. You have to learn how to process them and turn them into a positive. It's energy. It's unlimited energy. I say this all the time. I say that the biggest periods of transformation in my life is when everything was going wrong. When my life was going good, I'm not a hedonistic person. I don't do drugs. I don't gamble. I don't do prostitutes. I don't do anything that hedonistic. But I'll certainly go on the yacht with a bunch of women I know and chill and have some vodkas and that kind of thing. When life's smooth, then it's semi-hedonistic, pretty relaxed. But when I make my biggest progress, when I really change who I am and change the world, that's when everything's fucked. When things go wrong, or I'm feeling things I don't want to feel, or bad things are happening, that's when I'm like, okay, I currently cannot sleep. I've completed the day's tasks. I've tried to go to bed. I can't sleep. More shit has to get done. That's when the amazing things happen in my life. When I was heartbroken, when I was whatever, everyone's been heartbroken. I can't remember a specific example. I hit the gym harder, right? If something goes wrong with your payment processor, that's when you get fucking inventive. That's business, right? That's when you get inventive. So all the bad things that happen to you as a man, if you're stoic, you get to take unlimited energy. Heartbreak is unlimited energy. So is depression. So is rage. So is sadness. All these negative emotions they tell you to collapse behind. It's like people talk like Bruce Lee says, be like water. And people see that as be fluid and just go with the flow. I disagree. If you're like water, you're necessary for life. You are scary when you're enraged. You're powerful. You're beautiful when you're calm. You're so many things when you're like water, right? So if I'm enraged, it's like water behind a dam. You just got to put the dam in place, and you got to get the turbo, the hydroelectrics put in. Don't tsunami your life. Put the energy somewhere. And this is the most beautiful thing about it, because people message me all the time like, oh, but Tate, you don't know how sad I feel. No, incorrect. I know exactly how sad you feel. Difference is I used it. And you're sitting here still crying, some random guy on email for the fucking 3rd month in a row. That's the difference between you and me, my friend. I was becoming a world champion kickboxer. I got to a point, people often talk to me about depression and say I don't understand it. I will say, listen, there's been times in my life where I was fully functional as an adult. I would never label myself depressed because I don't believe in the idea of labeling myself in a negative, because I don't believe in things that take power from me, which we'll talk about in a second. But there's been times in my life where I didn't give a fuck if I lived or died. There's been times in my life where I went to fight a man for money, and I didn't give a shit if I lost and even woke up again. Didn't give a fuck. I had nothing worth living for. I was brokey, didn't have a girlfriend, didn't have any fucking money, got a 2-day call to fight some world champion, had to lose 10 kilos in 2 days, had nothing else going for me, got on a plane to Dagestan and fucking won. There's been times I've done that. By all conventional wisdom, I was depressed, I was suicidal, but I was just like, no, I don't give a shit. And that's when I was at my most powerful. Now if I get that call, I'm like, bro, I got a new car outside and shit.
I'm not going to Dagestan, bro.
Going to where? Sorry, how much money? Nah. But back then I was like, yeah, cool. Who is he? Oh, this guy. All right, fine. I didn't give a fuck. I was most powerful when I was sad, when I was depressed, when all these
that how he thinks. Because
Okay.
look, we're small, and this is the thing. I wanted to do justice to him because if we do small cut bits, sometimes you're not giving him the true justice. And here, this is this 5 hour in long interview which this guy did with him was to actually honor his legacy, so that people should listen to him. So I'm just having a 6 minutes video of that section. So why can't I just share with the people? Yeah, that's one thing. So think about it. This is where he proves why depression is not real, because he's telling you that don't take it as a disease, take it as an energy to use it in the right way. And we have been told to accept it. Go waste your time talking near to a psychiatrist. 9 times out of 10, a psychiatrist doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to really improve yourself, and this is for me also, this is for all of us, especially when we are young at this age, when we feel lost in everything, we feel sad. I think the best thing to think is the more if you tell yourself you're depressed, you will feel more sad. So you just say, no, fuck, I don't feel depressed. My day will become better. At least start thinking like this, my day will become better. So you will feel much better. Rather than saying, no, I'm crashing, I'm crashing, I'm crashing. You will crash if you think you're crashing. And then try to find something worthwhile during the day. I think we, I mean, and we are super young, we do not have so much vision to think about. We have a very small amount of vision. It's hard. I understand. We understand this. That it's so hard. I'm also not some great guy to take advice from. But I think the smallest thing we can do in our day to day life is to at least try our best to do some small task to divert your mind from thinking that I'm depressed. The moment you start believing you're depressed is the day you destroy yourself.
Yeah.
And this is how he's trying to say that control your emotions, and that's how you become a powerful man. So that's what he said. Now this is what men empowerment. Now how wrong is it? Why he got banned for just empowering men? Why do you think? Because that's the only thing. There's nothing else that can ban him.
Yeah. But there's this thing, like, I don't know, I heard this somewhere, that if you let your brain is one of the most powerful organs. I think I must have said that in the past, previous podcasts as well, but it is one of the most powerful organs in your body. If you let it take over, your brain can take over you. And if you let your brain take over you, then it's done. Then you'll go in this deep dark side of your life where you can't get out of it. It's And basically what taking over means is overthinking. You keep thinking
Mm.
about something, or you keep actually make yourself feel pathetic. Like, I can't do this. I want to go back. I want to do this. I miss this person and this and that. You kind of lead yourself to depression, because I might get a lot of back threats on this. That I don't believe in depression, but I know there are many people facing it, and I do believe it exists. But for me,
So this is the thing.
even if I'm sad or something, I wouldn't term it as depression, and maybe I haven't faced it, so I'm saying it like this.
This
But
is the thing. This is the thing.
yeah,
You can face depression. That's not the point. The point is you accept that state and you say, I accept it, and you go into that. You sink in. That's like a black hole. You do not want to sink in. This is the thing. And I'm saying is, look, it's as easy as it is said than done. Your mind, controlling your mind, though it's just one organ that's in your control. It's funny enough to think that that's just the one organ that you can control, but that shit can control you also.
oh,
And
it's
so
really
so
good at
it's
manipulating you. Yeah,
yeah. So it's an internal battle amongst ourselves, and
yeah,
this is the only thing we can say is that we have to battle every day. And there are days where I feel like shit, and I say there are multiple days off camera when I speak with him. And he knows so many things that I suffer or I feel. I know there are days I feel like shit. I feel like crashing. But that's the thing. That's one more advice he says. Have a strong masculine group of friends. This is what I have. Caderjet is not the only one. I have K. We have like about 5 guys or 4 guys we make up. So I always be thankful to God for having these people around me, which affects my mind. It puts me back in the right track sometimes. And another thing, the best thing, I was these guys keep me in check in line because what happened was I was not supposed to do the vlog. There was a time I was like saying I will not record it and I'm not post it on my channel. But
Yeah.
this guy held me accountable. So I now my first vlog is up. So these are the things that he talks about, and young impressionable men who require these kinds of guidance sometimes don't get it from their parents nowadays, and then they look up to these ideals, and now you block it.
Yeah.
It's a crime. Actually, the Facebook metaverse and all should be ashamed. It's a crime that they have done. And by the way, I just looked at the interview from the start, the whole interview from the starting, and it's actually very dangerous and crazy. What did he say in the starting of the interview? That when Facebook blocked him, immediately TikTok, YouTube, everything blocked him, and to the point that his bank accounts got locked. His
Why is bank accounts? What did the bank accounts?
I don't know what banks also blocked
Maybe
him.
I
He thinks
think the human trafficking thing came into place. That's why.
the bank accounts got locked in, and uh, yeah, Uber, Uber also blocked him.
Oh man, the memes, like everything. This thing blocked him. The door blocked him. Oh my God, the memes
Everything,
was like
every
so much.
no, no, no. This is not memes. This is reality. He said it in the interview. If you
Everything
see the
blocked
full
him. No,
forum,
like there were people making weird memes, like the car door locked him out.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Bugatti locked him out, or now he can't swim, so he's blocked out.
yes. Another thing, now this is a very interesting video, and I think it's very hard for us to explain. It's a 3 minute video, and this is the last one, and then we can finish it off. Okay, but this is something he talks with the feminists about, how they demonize men all the time, that men shouldn't rape, and they say, and look, this is the thing which I hate about it. It's like on TikTok, some of the videos I that gets played on YouTube, where I've seen women definitely coming on TikTok, and those TikTok videos are on YouTube. They say we hate men, we don't need this. So they are depowerizing men, and that shit is not being blocked on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. But if
Double
someone
standard.
comes along and says that men shouldn't feel like this and should become stoic, should improve their value, where is equality, bro? Where is feminism? So bullshit feminism that says empowerment should be an equal right.
A really great example of that, of this scenario, is like I saw this video yesterday, and I'm not sure if you came across it. It was like, what if Titanic was made in 2022? And so the ship is sinking. Have you seen Titanic, the
Yes,
movie? The movie. Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
All the
So the
ladies go
ending,
first.
yeah, the ending part is ladies and children go first. Now in the video, what they did was, now all the males and children go first because females think that they're equal to males. So they turned the tables around, and then in the video, every girl was like, "No, I mean we just simply say that. It's not really that we mean it, and we aren't equal to men." And like, yeah, so that was like a really good twist to the video, and like the other girls were like shouting, and then this one girl comes in and is like, "No, we can do it, girls, and we are more stronger than them." And the other girls are like, "Fuck, no, we are not stronger than them. We know that very well." And then the twist was that the jack was on the plank and the girl was in the water.
At the end of the day, we are not making fun of women, but there are certain physical strengths that we are physically strong. Or that's for sure. We have already talked about in a previous podcast when we were talking about how trans women are in sports, so-called trans women that are not necessarily. The reality is that the biology still plays 10 times the part. But you don't
Yeah.
want to go into that same discussion again. Again, we'll go back. But please watch that previous podcast.
Watch all our
Well,
previous
you'll get
podcasts
all.
actually. You'll get
Yeah,
an idea of
watch
where
this.
we are coming
Watch
from.
everything. Yeah,
It's
watch
like it's
everything.
like a it's like a series. We've been talking. We start with the topic, then we get controversial, and then we just do a recap in the other podcast. So
Yes, yes, yes,
it's like a series. Do
yes,
watch it.
yes. Anyway.
She was saying that we need to teach men not to rape. And I said, my dear, I love how idealistic you are, but I am realistic. Men are already taught not to rape. She's like, no, we need to go and change language at school and rewrite history and do all the shit they're trying to do to make men weak because they think that weak men don't rape. which is another argument I want to come back to because weak men are the most dangerous men on the planet. Let's talk about that later. But I said, no, people already understand that rape is wrong. Unfortunately, human nature, some people don't care about doing wrong things. We should teach people not to steal, but they still steal. Would you agree that everyone says don't steal? The Bible says don't steal. The Quran says don't steal. Schools say don't steal. Everyone says don't steal. People still steal. So if I were to take $1 million in cash and walk down the street at night in the worst part of town holding it, to a degree, I would have some responsibility. When I got robbed, the police would come and say, why did you do that? People would say, Andrew, why did you do that? You have to protect yourself from things. You can't just rely on the ideological hope that other people in the world are going to be perfect and infallible, or that the law is going to prevent it. You have to say, no, I can't walk through the ghetto at 2 a.m. with $1 million in cash. I take personal responsibility. She agreed. I said, then by extension, would you agree that the smartest thing a woman can do to prevent rape is not to sit here on a podcast and try and change the way men think and talk about your bullshit, but to take some degree of personal responsibility and not put yourself in dangerous situations? I'm not saying that's going to prevent all rape. I'm not saying that rape is okay. Rapists should be executed. I'm not saying that every single woman who was ever assaulted could have prevented it. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying the smartest thing a woman can do is say, this is dangerous. Going home with this guy I just met is dangerous. Walking through this area by myself is dangerous. Let me call a taxi. Let me call my brother. Let me go with my husband. Isn't that a more intelligent way to teach women to prevent themselves from being raped, as opposed to telling them you can do whatever you want, walk around in the middle of the night naked, it's no problem. Men shouldn't rape, men are the problem. I said, what you're trying to do is illogical. What I'm trying to say will actually prevent rape. So what you're saying, when you're telling girls, do whatever you want, men are the problem, you're convincing women to put themselves in situations where bad things might happen to them. Whereas I'm saying, listen, women and men, look after yourselves. I'm a full-grown man, 4-time kickboxing world champion. There's places I don't go alone. I came here with security. That's called being an intelligent adult. So this is what I was trying to say. I was trying to say women need to protect themselves and bear some responsibility to make sure they don't put themselves in situations where bad things can happen to them easily. I'd like to think that's a pretty logical point. No. Andrew said rape's fine. Andrew said it's women's fault. I didn't say that. I really didn't say that. It's completely insane. If I speak to my brother's daughter, or when I have daughters of my own, and they say, I'm concerned, how do I protect myself? I'm not going to say, don't worry, here's how we're going to protect you. I'm going to rewrite the mentality of every man on the planet so you can walk around naked at night. I'm going to say, listen, you don't go out at night. I'll come pick you up. Who are you going with? That's just intelligent adult think. But they've taken it, misconstrued it, taken it completely out of context, put it on TikToks, purported it, Media Machine picked it up, lied about me, deleted me so I can't defend myself, and now I'm dangerous to the world. It's a fucking scam. It's all a scam. And it's
Point is, now you get to see that how he is a man. He doesn't like rape. He doesn't like all these negative things in society. And he was talking about that he had a debate with the feminists, and the feminists, what they want is that they want to blame everything on the men. Everything, that the root cause of society is men. First of all, you're a dumb shit, delusional bitches. Everything on this planet was made by men. The house you're living in, the infrastructure you're living in the cozy room that you're talking to another man and saying you have the audacity to say that men are the problem. In the very same luxurious rooms and of every building are made by men. Hard work of blood, sweat, and tears of every man on the fucking planet, and you have this right to sit in one room and say men are useless, men are stupid, men are this. Majority of the men want the best for you. Your own father wants the best for you. Your own brother wants the best for you, and you're here complaining, bitching, and moaning about how men are bad.
Yeah.
So shut up, first of all. Another thing, when you're saying men should not rape, he has a good point. He's saying there are many things we are teaching in school with people, like they shouldn't steal, but people still steal. I would even argue one more thing. The point just came in my mind. When we say don't drink, don't smoke, these are the things that self-harm a person. Don't do drugs. Self-harm a person. If a person is ready to harm himself, then he's ready to harm anybody else. Yeah, if someone has the mentality to harm, it really doesn't matter what you teach him or her. If he or she is ready to destroy your life, no moral etiquette is required. He or she will throw all the moral etiquette and will decide to hurt you. But that means That that means that particular gender, the entire gender is bad. No, that particular being is bad. You can't blame. And if you look, and this feminists have this idea of changing history and saying that and trying to hate men all throughout history, and regardless of what, because of these historical men, you're still there.
Hmm.
Regardless, yes, they were. We can't. We should accept certain things, that yes, men did certain things bad with women, but at the same time, they did it that bad to the point that if they did that much bad to women, the whole society wouldn't exist. The way they perpetuate it, in a sense that we have really destroyed women, then I wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be here, this world wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, this delusional thinking of feminists should be dismantled. All the women who think about feminism, like who are ascribing to feminism, are becoming delusional idiots. I will say this on the podcast, because at the moment it's just rhetoric. Men are bad, men are bad, men are bad. When you see reality, your bloody light bulb that you're sitting on under, it's made by a man who spent he spent 100 times, tries to make one fucking light bulb.
Yeah.
Your bloody telephone was made by Alexander Graham Bell, man. Later on got improved. Your bloody laptop, the processor you're using on your bloody laptop, Windows, was made by two men. The Apple phone that you're taking is made by men. I mean, everything is made by men, and now you're complaining. Your bloody applications are made by most of men. The TikTok that you love dancing around and being a bullshit idiot on top and saying all this random shit you want to say is all made by men. And now you're saying men are stupid. We don't need men. Come on, man. we, I'm pretty sure not one man has ever said up till now in the current day and age that we don't need women. In fact, we agree to a bullshit to the point that most of the men who are following feminists, I've seen some TikToks where men have ascribed to feminist movements. They have lost their manhood. They look like bunch of idiotic fools that just saying the same thing what other women are saying, if just to
Hmm.
please them. They're being very simps. They're being weak. Get your senses back. Come on, get back to reality.
It's a very weird world out there.
That's what I'm telling. Every man should watch Andrew Tate to get their senses back in. I swear. Anyway, go and watch this entire 5 hour document interview. Although, if inshallah, if I get well 100%, what I'm going to do is, I heard my flight is for 5 hours, so I'm actually going to watch that
Gonna
in
watch
the
that.
entire interview
Download it and
in
watch
the
it. Yeah.
in the flight. But for me anyway, I know what he says, where it comes from, everything. So for me, this whole interview is not to defend, to prove that how good he is. I already know how a man he is. But yeah, certain things that the way this is one thing. Certain things that he said in a more professional way in this interview. So a lot of people will actually understand what he says. He said it in a much better way. So that's the thing. Anyway, if we ever get cancelled, yeah, there's always another platform, Rumble.
I
Seriously,
hope not, because this
everybody,
is a
everybody is
really.
actually we should start. We should always have a backup. And by this time, I think because of Andrew Tate now, he was also talking something very important, that he doesn't need Facebook right now. Even if Facebook wants him back, I think he doesn't need it. And the best thing he can do is, yes, he should not. You know why? He should improve Rumble. So people like us later on, if we have some problems, we can switch there. And that application is a big way to prove that big tech cannot bully any more content creators for free speech. They can say whatever they want,
Hmm.
and that's the biggest loss they have done. Facebook has lost in this scenario very badly. Now Rumble stocks have gone up there. It has been said. Can you check? I think it has been. He is saying that Rumble stocks have gone up in last
I'm
couple
not
of weeks.
following Rumble stocks, so I'm not pretty sure like what they were before, but I'll check now. Rumble is RMBL. So RMBL, yep. So far, yeah, they have gone up a bit. Like not yet. They're not that up though. They were up back last year at $46, and now they've dropped to 16, 15, $16. So I'm not sure if your news is correct, but yeah, it's dropped this year.
Yeah, it increased because of annotated a bit. Ever
Yeah,
since
in a bit, yeah, in August it spiked up back to 26 and then started going down again.
Yes, so now don't worry. Now this guy will stay here for some time. He's going to use Rumble as his main this and see where is that. One thing is for sure, this if you open the site, it's not a very good site in the way it looks. It still needs
Mhm.
to improve. Like if compared to YouTube or other big tech,
Yeah.
come on, it needs to improve. It's this. Once it improves, it's going to be a big thing. Let's see what happens in the next couple of years. But for Rumble having the ability to speak freely and having someone like Andrew Tate is a big win for them. So let's see where this goes. Anyway, so Andrew Tate is back. He's not gone anywhere. Go and watch the entire this. I think we should link that also in the description.
Link in description,
Should
guys.
we?
Go watch it out.
Yeah, we should watch it. Have your popcorn. If you can watch bloody documentaries and movies for 5 hours, then of course you can watch 5 hours of someone worth watching because a lot of parents are concerned, okay, how he is really corrupting people's mind or not. Parents can watch it, see for yourself, make your own mind. One thing is for sure, he was also telling one thing that as a human being should be able to make our own mind. Whatever information we learn, you should analyze it. Either it's coming from a personal experiences or it's coming from someone else. And if it's coming from someone else, is it coming is it coming from a person who's worthwhile, who genuinely wants good for you or does not want good for you? Try to analyze that. Start thinking for yourself rather than just being fed information and just absorbing it. So this is something very good that he was teaching. I was talking. Someone compared him to modern day Socrates. Socrates is a big philosopher. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was also teaching to be like this. Think for yourself, especially to the youth. And later they poisoned him.
Mm.
The assassin. This is how they used to cancel back and kill. You know,
Yeah.
they kill you by pushing you out of this market.
Yeah.
The modern day assassination. Anyway, to
Anyway,
conclude this topic,
moving on to Techtumber or the month of techs. This month has been like one of the most exciting months, but before I come to that, okay, so we're going to come back to the tech in a moment, but I wanted to talk about the cars now going this like many major manufacturing car companies are switching to electric. The new Bugatti Mistral is almost like $5 million. If I'm not wrong, I'll correct it. I'll check and I'll look into it and I'll let you know. But it's a $5 million car. That's one of the last W16 combustion engine production car, and it's amazing. It's like a convertible. So can you see this? Okay, so this
woo,
is the Bugatti
mashallah.
Mistral, and it's like one of the most beautiful cars I've actually seen. Like with the
This this one I saw on Instagram
Supercar
from
Blondie.
Supercar brand when I
Yep.
was talking about it,
Yeah.
and she was talking about it has a floating emblem.
Oh, it
That
does
one.
actually over here.
Yeah.
There's like an
Not here,
elephant.
no floating and emblem. Come here, come here. Uh, or the emblem that's called floating or something here.
This one.
On its on its come from the headlights go down those grills, grills, the
Oh,
central
this
grill, yeah,
one.
that one,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's like out, like protruding outside,
It
and it's
popped
on
out,
like it pops
popped
out. Yeah,
out,
exactly. That's one amazing thing. And like on the gear lever,
and
if you've heard, there's like this like elephant, and there's like a huge like a story behind it. And if you want to know, go
Uh,
check out Supercar Blondie's channel, Instagram or YouTube. She's posted on both places. But this car looks amazing, and it's all booked out.
I know it
This
looks
is
tough.
one of the last Bugattis that's going to be like a fuel generated car, and now they're going to
Uh,
go fully electric. So that's
what's
something
the
I'm
name of this
really
car,
sad about.
Bugatti?
So this car is known as Bugatti Mistral,
Mistral.
Mistral, Mistral.
Whatever it is, I'm gonna miss these petroleum cars because there's something about petroleum cars. It's the power, the exhaust, the power. You can truly feel the speed and power, which you do not feel it in an electric
You
car.
won't get that in
Okay,
an electric car
you will
exactly.
not get it. Even if you go speed at high speeds, you want to feel the speed. If you want to know how powerful the car is, I think that's one thing when it comes to the petroleum or diesel, fuel powers, fuel engines. They used to show the power, feel the power, like you could feel it, and that's what's the beauty about those cars. I don't want to miss it. Our kids are gonna miss it.
Yeah, for sure.
Secondly,
I am sad. There's one thing I'm sad about, that I just got my license and now the world is starting to go to electric powered. So by the time I'll be able to buy a car, I'll have to buy an electric car and go.
you st- your screen is still on a share, by the way, so
I know.
this part can't be cut. Okay,
No, 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 I won't
now,
cut it. Don't worry.
okay, another thing, something comes in my mind. Look, when you are on an electric car, since it's a very silent car, yeah,
Yeah.
you can easily murder somebody and nobody would know. In an alley, night time, a serial
Oh,
killer can
yeah, yeah,
literally kill
yeah.
somebody. Nobody would know.
That's true.
Whereas, honestly, I go for Friday prayers, and there's a guy who's a muscular guy who comes with this Harley Davidson type of bike. This guy, once he finishes prayer, and everything is crowded, okay? He's in this crowded area, he has his bike. He'll sit, everybody is, just coming out of prayer, and everybody is in their own world, just getting out. This guy starts his engine. Boom, boom! You could feel the power, and everybody's awake.
Yeah.
Like everybody gets back into like the real state of the life. Okay, the life is back, and that power. I mean, seriously, man, I'm gonna miss it. I remember when the back in 2016, 2015, when we were there and we had a craze for cars, and especially in Ali Club, we used to have a lot of sports cars. And when they used to switch on the engines, you could feel the power of the Ferrari, you could feel the power of especially of the Mustang and everything. These used to be
Yeah.
powerful. Even Porsche, I'm gonna miss all that. I'm just gonna
It's gonna be
genuinely miss.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we're
So
gonna miss. So this is one. This is
honestly,
like the Bugatti. They launched it last month. There's another like a break, like a really sad news, but also like a breakthrough kind of news, that Dodge, Dodge Chargers, right? One of the most
yeah.
amazing muscle cars ever built, and like they sound amazing, they look amazing. But now, they're gonna stop the production of those cars and they're gonna go fully electric. So I'm gonna post this picture over here, and so this is what it looks like now, fully electric. And what they've done for the sound is they've made it like there's like a audio generated kind of a sound, rev sound. So instead of a combustion engine sound, you'll hear like these automated sounds, which sound horrible. Like, first thing, you're making an like an electric car. Why do you need a sound? Secondly, if you want to keep the touch of it, don't make it like that. It sounds horrible. And I don't know if you've seen those videos, but it looks horrible. Yeah. No, it looks good, but it sounds horrible. Yeah.
There's the Dodge Charger.
This is the Dodge Charger. Yeah.
Okay, I will listen to the later on after the podcast the sound,
Yeah.
the
But
new
this is
Dodge
what it
Charger.
looks
Yeah.
like. That's what it looks like from the back. Can I? Yeah. That's what it
It
looks
looks
like
sick
from the
though.
back.
It looks sick. It looks futuristic.
It looks futuristic. I agree with that. It looks
It looks
really good.
the
Especially
design
the
is
tire
amazing.
part as well. It looks good. The interior is amazing. It's freaking amazing.
This I think this is also something very important to understand is
The
whatever
design.
features you have. Yeah, whatever features you have. Sometimes the features doesn't matter. If the design is sick, it's amazing. But engine is also important because as a man, you want something that the feel of the power. Yeah, the design and the power go hand in hand. You don't want to sound pussy in the car actually. I
Yeah.
think that's what that's one thing that even Land Cruiser was very good at the time. The power and the solid designs it had and the engine power. It engine power. How many times I'm repeating engine power? I mean,
Even the
you
way
feel
it
it.
looked so good before, and now they've just destroyed the look of it.
Yeah, the Land Cruiser is shit now.
Doesn't it looks like a cuboid, like a box or something. Doesn't look good. But
It looks like
have you seen the
it looks
GR
like a
version?
circus clown. The clown cars, the circus cars. It looks like that.
Yeah. Have you seen the sports version of it? It's still the sports version looks a bit better than it because they added the race suspensions and the tires and rims are a bit different. Looks a bit sporty. You should check out the GR Toyota Land Cruiser. That looks much better.
If
It's like an pure off-road car. The ones that they
if
give normally it looks like a show car or the like you mentioned a clown car.
if Toyota watches this podcast, please change your designs. We
Please
know
change it.
you can do better. The point is that you are always better.
Yeah.
What's this bullshit regressing?
Like the Camry looks so good. Come on, even the Highlander, the new Highlanders are coming in. They look so good. Please make
Look,
the Land
I
Cruiser
think
look good. And
I
I believe
I
Land Cruiser is
think
only there in Middle East, if I'm not wrong, or maybe it's there in America. I'm not sure, but it's not here in Canada.
uh,
I haven't seen any Land Cruisers in Canada.
since Pakistan is there, a bit of Pakistan, bit of here and there, but overall, wherever it is, it's shit right now. And step up the game because they actually. I sometimes I feel like company, and I think this is for us also. Sometimes not all trends are good trends. Not all
Yeah.
trends are good trends. And I think that's what has happened is, and I think this is what happened in the CEO was thinking. Look, we gotta constantly innovate to look better in the people's in eyes. But I think what they made a mistake, and this happens, mistakes are mistakes. Sometimes they don't realize it. Is that they're in this. I think they're in the mindset of okay, of constantly improving. They forget that the trend they caught was the wrong trend, and I think it didn't apply good for on Land Cruisers. Maybe on other cars the design could have applied, but Land Cruiser no. I think Land Cruiser's design is timeless. I think they shouldn't have changed a lot with it. What they did with 2021 or 2019, that was the most perfect, well balanced when it comes to futuristic design. At the same time, was amazing. I think they could have just changed a little bit of the graining or something. No, no, no.
Completely
Land
agree with
Cruiser,
that, actually.
yeah, Land Cruiser doesn't need a lot of changes. It already had, like, I feel it already had a blueprint. If they stayed, if they had stuck true to that design and then they just changed a bit, I think that would have been much better rather than completely renovating it and making it like a clown bitch car.
Yeah, I completely agree with you in this aspect. But anyways,
You
also
know,
speaking of an SUV, and you can go ahead. You're saying something?
yes, I'm just saying Land Cruiser is the pride of the Middle East.
Oh, pride of the Middle East, pride of the land, pride of the desert.
Yes,
That's what it
and
is.
you just robbed us from the pride
Yeah.
and made it a clown car.
Ah man. But you should check out the sport version, the GR Toyota Land Cruiser. I think that's something you might like. This the other one. It's still the shape is almost the same, or it is the same. They just added some like tweaks and they changed the bumper and made it look a bit like off-road car. But speaking of an SUV, we have a new SUV in the market, and it's a Ferrari that has made an SUV. But this is what the car looks like. And this is the car.
This looks like Jaguar.
Some people say it looks like an Aston Martin DB11 or the SUV
I think
version
that
of Aston Martin.
no, when it looks like a Jaguar, I'm not talking about I'm not talking necessarily about the company Jaguar. It looks from the front side
Oh,
like an
okay.
animal
Like the
Jaguar,
animal
like a
Jaguar, but it
Jaguar and a
looks
Panther.
really
Like
good to be honest.
yeah, it looks like it's a Jaguar or Panther just coming to attack me, like hunting.
It looks really aggressive. It looks
And
good.
yeah,
And
it
yet
looks
we
sharp.
yeah it's an SUV. Ferrari hasn't claimed that this is an SUV. That's something to keep in mind. Ferrari logics. But yeah, I can't. Why? My net is so
We,
bad.
we just learned that in the previous segment where we were talking about logic doesn't work in this world anymore. When someone comes with logic, it's being banned.
One second, let me.
So I would say it in Italian. In English, you can say it as puro sangue. Puro meaning
Puro
pure.
sangue. That's how you say it.
Or
Ferrari Puro sangue.
or somewhere.
Yeah, it's an Italian name, so but it looks amazing. I love the look of it, and that's
This
a
I
so this is a naturally aspirated V12 engine. So that's Ferrari. I'm so glad that you didn't go electric yet. This is going to be one of the best sounding SUVs. I'm yet to see how it compares to the Lamborghini Urus, the Lamborghini SUV. But I'm really
Lamborghini
excited
Urus
for this
sucks.
one. Really
Lamborghini
excited for
Urus,
this one.
Lamborghini Urus, whatever it is, I don't like its
I
design.
mean, there are mixed reviews about it. Some people like it, some
Uh,
don't. I feel like it's a really good
this
looking car.
this one is this is one is sharp. This one is sharp, deadly, and this this says who's the boss.
Yeah.
The design wise it blows off Lamborghini. Period. When it comes to us, period, it blows off. This one, I would if I have the money, I wanna buy this.
Oh, I swear, that's the first thing I said. And they've got like they've copied or not really copied. They've took some designs of their old cars, like the backside. It kind of reminisces the Ferrari Roma. The front kind of it kind of looks like the Ferrari Monza edition, if you've seen it. And then the interior is kind of like a copy of Ferrari FF.
Honestly,
Like
when it comes to Ferrari,
the sides of this
honestly,
car kind of
I love
it looks like the Ferrari FF or the Lusso GT something GT4.
I've always told you before, I think, before this, Ferrari has always been consistent and really good at making
Really
design.
good at
Okay, very
design,
good.
yeah.
But another thing is sometimes most of them are so similar. Like that's why we're talking about the blueprint for the Land Cruiser. That they already have a blueprint design. Why did
Yeah.
they change? I don't know. So what I feel with Ferrari is that they already have this blueprint and they're consistently using in all the series of the cars. And sometimes what happens is they have so much variety
Yeah.
I get confused which one is which. You lose track. That's the thing. So when you say I can't picture in my mind what you're talking about. But this one, amazing. Even if it's an SUV, by
It looks
definition, it's an
amazing,
SUV.
yeah.
It looks for an SUV, it looks phenomenal. Most of these sports cars, when they bring the SUV forms, suck. So Lamborghini sucks. This one, good
It's really
statement.
good. Now,
I
moving
mean,
on to the month of tech, September being the month of tech or Techtember. I got that from MKBHD, shout out to him. But I wanted to talk about the new iPhone 14 and 14 Pro, if you've seen it, and the new Apple Watch. So what are your thoughts on the iPhone 14 Pro? I know the 14 is kind of the normal, it's just coming from 13 and just like slight tweak. But this is the 14 Pro and I kind of want to talk about it because I actually like this phone. Even though there's not much changes from the previous generation, but what do you think about the phone?
I mean, for me, iPhone. I mean, I'm not very well versed about iPhone. The only thing I know that most of the time they just change the camera. To me, it still looks like the old phone, like previous two phones. Like one of the phones has three cameras. 11 Pro, 12 Pro has the three cameras. It looks the same. Uh, what else have they done? New design wise is exactly the same. Features wise, I don't think it's changed much.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. So now they've changed the iPhones have this notch cutout. So now what they've done is that they made it like a pill shape kind of a thing. And what this pill shape does is called dynamic island. They've even named this notch. It's called dynamic island. So it kind of changes according to what you're opening. So if you open music, that kind of becomes a multi-bar. I'll play a video over here if after in the edits, but it looks amazing.
Okay.
So and the new features they've added is crash detection. So in case if you're in an accident and like if it's a really bad accident, you pass out and you can't call emergencies. If you're in a crash, your iPhone will activate SOS. Basically, it'll call emergency responding, which is police or ambulance, in case if you passed out. So it'll call on its own. You don't need to go and call 911. And it's actually a pretty good, like a really good tool. It might save a lot of people life because nowadays, like if you're in an accident, if you're all alone, like especially in the areas I'm living in, it's completely like it's like in a jungle. You're living in a jungle, and when you're on a highway, there's nothing nearby. So if you're in an accident and you pass out, there's nothing you can do and you might even die. So this feature is really amazing. It kind of notifies the people that you have selected, and it'll call emergency, which is 911. And the other thing, which was the highlight, was emergency SOS. So basically, if you're in a jungle, if you're hiking or somewhere, and you don't have any network, and you're in a situation where you can't go back, or you get lost, you can connect your iPhone to a satellite and send SMS or like SOS messages to emergency responders, and that's a really amazing. That's something really amazing. But I'm still confused if they're going to pay, like they're going to make it a subscription based, because there are some satellite phones that are that have what do you say, that have subscription basis, so you can buy a satellite phone, and if you ever gone for hiking or something, it connects directly to a satellite, and you can send SOS messages to anyone that you have selected. So that's one amazing thing. They've increased the size of camera. The cameras have gone better. The front-facing camera now gets a 12 megapixel like a sensor, and the back camera is now 48 megapixel. But you need to activate that separately, and it's more for the experts, like people who use Lightroom and Photoshop. It's for them. You should, like, for people like us, we stick to the normal 12 megapixel, but it kind of uses the sensors of all three cameras, so the quality of the
We can
the
still
image.
use the full version, the ultimate version still,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can still use it.
Uh,
The lost breath over there.
this is called thinking out of the box, basically.
Yeah. But
No.
it's not a big
Props
thing. I
lab.
mean, Samsung and other companies are. No, I mean, Samsung hasn't come here yet. But like for
Yes.
other stuff, Samsung is doing a lot, and iPhone is just refining whatever other companies are doing. But when they refine it and they do it in Apple way, it's always amazing. So yeah, the other highlight is the Apple Watch Ultra, which is kind of for those people who are into high endurance stuff. So diving down 100 feet into the ocean, or you're climbing Mount Everest. That watch is for those people. It's for those people who are into.
So you buy it. Once you buy it, then you will climb Mount Everest. Yeah.
Not saying that I would buy that watch, but it's for those people, and I'm sure I'll see that
Let's buy it.
on Arbab's, like,
Let's buy it.
let's
Let's
buy
buy it, and then we go and let's go for a trip to Mount Everest.
it. Oh man, I wish, but like that's something that I'm not interested in doing, because I value my life. That's something, a really bold thing that people do, and yeah, don't have anything. Speechless when people do it. But that's what it is. That's the iPhone 14 and the Watch Ultra, Apple Watch Ultra.
Next podcast, we should react to George Carlin.
I don't know who that is, but for sure.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. I'll talk about it off camera. Maybe it will be a bad idea, but let's see.
Let's see.
Anyway, yeah.
As now we've spoken about
Anyway,
so many good things, and we come to this end of this podcast. You wanna take over?
yes. Please like, share, and subscribe. Watch my vlog. Watch his vlog also. At links of our personal channels
All in
are in the
description.
description. And yes, also people who are, even if you are lazy and do not want to find a big interview, that's also there. Please watch that 5 hour interview, so you'll understand what this man is totally, because he's a misunderstood man. Just like one more controversial person, but we cannot tell you the name. Anyway, never mind. uh like, share, and subscribe,
And we'll catch you in the
and
next podcast,
see
and see you next
you.
time.